Chosen ones, listen carefully. Some truths are so great, they cannot be shouted. They must be revealed in silence. And this is one of them. For ages, prophecy spoke of a force hidden in plain sight, a being feared not only by men, but even by the gods themselves. What no one expected, what they tried to bury under doubt and distraction, is this, that divinity has always been inside you. You are not simply living. You are embodying the prophecy itself. Look at Elon Musk. His entire journey has been about unlocking what others swore was impossible. From electric cars that disrupted an industry, to rockets that bend the skies, to whispers of neural codes hidden within our own technology. Musk has always understood one thing. The greatest forces are often concealed until the appointed time. And when that time comes, silence breaks and history shifts. So when Musk orders something to be opened urgently, but in silence, it is a mirror of what is happening in your own spirit. The vault inside you, the divine force long buried under rejection, trials, and misunderstanding, is being unlocked right now. The energy you once only dreamed of is rapidly flowing into your life. This is no ordinary moment. It is alignment, awakening, and prophecy fulfilled. Remember this, chosen ones. Legends are not distant myths. They live through you. The gods themselves trembled at the thought of this day, and yet here it is. The scroll spoke of a figure who would rise when the world was at its breaking point. That figure is you. People have been hiding in plain sight for decades, clinging to idols and false gods because they are unable to understand the reality. The planet is shaking in the face of the chosen one's unquestionable presence now that the curtain has been removed. There is more to this awakening than a change in belief or religion. It is a cosmic event, a divine reckoning that calls into question all of our preconceived notions about fate, power, and our position in the cosmos. Because it reveals how incomplete our knowledge has been. The awakening of the real deity inspires both wonder and terror. Sensing that this energy would upend their dominions and shatter the meticulously constructed illusions of control, the old gods themselves shrank from it. However, this is not destruction in and of itself. It is the beginning of change and a resurgence of the spiritual connection that people have long lost yet so desperately hunger for. You bear the burden of millennia, the aspirations of innumerable generations, and the divine spark that may light up the darkest corners of the world because you are the chosen one. The gods understood that the balance of power was about to shift irrevocably, which is why they dreaded your arrival. You are more than a mythical character. You are the ultimate truth manifested in the flesh, the physical incarnation of divine power. Today, you stand at the center of this cosmic maelstrom, prepare to take your position, while the rest of the world watches in awe, astonishment, and disbelief. Now is the time to accept your fate, since you are the real God they have always dreaded. Civilizations have been writing enigmatic predictions, cautions, and promises from a bygone era on stone, parchment, and myth for thousands of years. According to these predictions, there would be a divine awakening, a force so strong that it would topple the heavens and rekindle the dying flame of creation. These terms are long disregarded as superstitious, folkloric, or metaphorical. However, these old prophecies suddenly ring true with sharp clarity, proving what many people dared not think. Regarding you, the gods themselves were correct. The predictions, written by seers who saw into the future through veils of cosmic knowledge, were not only cautions, they were blueprints of fate. They spoke of a creature whose light will pierce illusionary layers and expose the truth concealed under the surface of reality. According to the prophesy, this individual will restore harmony in areas where disorder prevailed, earning the respect of both gods and humans. The fact that the prophesies are more than just fiction is shown by the shock that is still reverberating across mankind today. They are realities coming to pass. Scholars, mystics, and seekers are re-examining these holy books across continents. They talk of you, the one who bears the holy flame, the long-awaited force that will awaken latent energies inside every soul, now that they realize how profound their reality is. The old gods admit that the cosmic order is changing when they acknowledge your involvement. Their own dread and reverence were shown by the forecasts. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. An understanding that your might surpasses even their heavenly domains. In the game of gods, you are more than simply a participant. The game sharer is you, the one who keeps the promises made at the beginning of creation. This is an important turning point in history. The intersection of the past, present, and future. The gods were correct. The world now has to confront the reality. You are the realization of the deepest prophecies ever recorded. Shock waves reverberate across the whole world when a truth as deep as yours penetrates the collective awareness. The very foundations of existence are being shaken by your realization of your almighty power. There's a quake in the spirits of people worldwide, an eerie and thrilling summons to something far bigger than themselves. Like a swelling wave, new possibilities flood the horizon as the old paradigms fall apart. Religious organizations and spiritual circles are not the only places where this awakening is occurring. Politics, science, art, and interpersonal relationships are all impacted by this global change. The influence of a greater truth releasing the bonds of fear and ignorance is felt across society. An indisputable feeling of a spiritual awakening is sweeping from urban streets to isolated villages, from academics to common people, like wildfire. The incomprehensible starts to appear in science itself. Once implausible phenomena now seem to be consistent with the existence of a transcendent power. As the lines between physics and metaphysics begin to blur, it becomes clear that reality is far more flexible than previously thought. This cosmic redefinition is sparked by your strength, which is a light that shines through the gloom of doubt. Many people experience a deep internal revolution as a result of this awakening. What takes the place of doubts? Confusion dissolves into clarity, and fear gives way to hope. Humanity's latent potential is awakened by the divine power you possess, sparking a shared desire to re-establish a connection with the holy source from which all life originates. You are the lighthouse, the indisputable evidence that the divine is not far away or impersonal, but rather alive, present, and prepared to change the course of all creation during these turbulent times. What was once a whispered fable in the dim recesses of old temples and clandestine meetings is now a burning reality that must be acknowledged. You are the living God who was before concealed. It is now a palpable reality that is felt in the universe's pulse rather than a far-off ideal or symbol. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. It is both thrilling and sobering to see this go from folklore to indisputable fact. The world's skepticism makes sense. Humanity has been conditioned for a very long time to doubt, to question, and to look for evidence outside of religion. However, when proof grows in the shape of miracles, cosmic alignments, and the change of others who are impacted by your presence, doubt gives way to an unshakable belief. You are the holy spark that unites mortal flesh with everlasting essence, transcending human bounds. This is the realization of a cosmic plan that took time and planning, not conceit. The stories were never made up. They were truths in code, ready to be completely awakened by the appropriate carrier in time. You become a beacon of hope and a focal point for spiritual regeneration for people who see your strength and purpose. False idols are destroyed by your presence, and a live link to divine truth takes their place. People no longer question if your God is aware of it. This is your time to emerge from the shadows, to boldly and gracefully assert your divine identity, and to lead mankind toward a future when you will be seen shining brightly. When someone feels their own authority is at danger, they respond with fear. And because of the uniqueness of your energy, the gods themselves were afraid of you. This is a deep reverence for the unstoppable force you possess, not a dread motivated by hatred. An energy with the power to rewrite the laws of reality, destroy illusions, and shatter old ties. Type Amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. You are a living revolution, a transformational force so powerful that it upends both mortal and heavenly worlds. Your ability to expose hypocrisy, overthrow corrupt power systems, and bring truth back to a society shrouded in darkness is reflected in the horror you arouse. This dread is evidence of your indisputable strength. Your power isn't destructive for the purpose of destruction, however. It is eternally caring, regenerating, and creative. You had the ability to heal, awaken, and restore equilibrium to a broken universe, while the gods dreaded what you may destroy. Your presence is a call to embrace a future where justice and divine love will triumph over fear. A turning moment is also indicated by this dread. The time when a better order founded on real power and spiritual truth must replace previous control regimes. The awe of the gods validates the significance of your job as the prophet of a new age, one in which the darkness of dishonesty and alienation is banished by heavenly light. To resist this dread is to assert your legitimate position as the irresistible might of God, a power that is both feared and admired, destined to change the course of history. Long before time itself became used to its steady flow, long before you took your first breath, the universe was marked with your entrance. Your destiny's blueprint is contained in the stars themselves. Cosmic events, constellations, and celestial alignments all predicted the time when you would emerge as the personification of divine power. This isn't a coincidence. The fundamental fabric of the cosmos is laced with destiny. These celestial signals were deciphered by ancient astronomers and mystics who saw them as indications of a supernatural intervention that was about to alter the path of history. When cosmic forces come together to favor your emergence as the genuine God, the heavens have created a magnificent stage. The culmination of thousands of years, heavenly orchestration, and a cosmic symphony reaching its peak is your birth. The constellations depict a tale of harmony and balance being restored via the triumph of light over darkness and the release of a hidden energy. Those who monitor the sky and sense the pulse of global truth are awakened by this heavenly story that reverberates across the whole planet. Your entrance is celebrated by the stars as an unfathomably holy occasion. This cosmic blueprint directs your actions and validates your goal, acting as a guide and a mandate. It serves as a reminder that every atom, planet, and soul is related to your power rather than existing in isolation. Your contribution is essential to the realization of the greater good. Sacred scriptures have spoken in riddles and metaphors across continents and civilizations, and the stars above bore testimony to your divinity by marking the skies with signs that say, "The true God has arrived." But there's a single reality that unites their messages: the coming of the one with unfathomable divine authority and might. These old texts, which were long kept in temples and protected by covert commands, now provide a clear insight into your identity and mission. These books included warnings that were intended to prepare mankind for a long overdue awakening rather than to fear. They described hardships and a transition from darkness to an irrepressible brightness. You are the result of these cautions, the realization of holy vows spoken over the years. These verses do more than just foretell your arrival. They lead truth seekers to acknowledge your existence. They speak of a person who will dispel delusions, bring about the restoration of divine order, and bring disparate peoples together under the flag of justice and love. As people become more aware of your reality, the effects of these old predictions are still being felt today. The heavenly warnings are entwined with your story. Every word and lyric serves as a thread that leads to your epiphany. You are bound by this link to a holy heritage and a cosmic need to fulfill the promises made by the first seers. When you embrace these teachings, The world sees you as the living incarnation of their greatest spiritual concerns and desires rather than as a mystery. The real God at the start of a new age. Every period has its turning point, when secrets are exposed and everyone on the planet gasps in appreciation. This is the turning point for you. The moment when mankind finally recognizes you as the living God and the divine presence among us, and unbelief vanishes. This is a crescendo of experiences, signs, and indisputable miracles that transcend open hearts and skepticism. It is not an abrupt event, eliminating doubt and igniting a fire of adoration and dedication. It is a tidal wave of waking that sweeps over minds and souls. The world pauses to see your strength, your kindness, and your unflinching honesty. The collective awareness changes when the curtain lifts. New paradigms based on first-hand experience and indisputable facts replace outdated belief systems. Understanding your divinity gives the weak strength, the confused clarity, and the despairing hope. On a cosmic level, it is a renewal of faith. It's also a very personal epiphany. Each person experiences it in a unique way. Many with the calm conviction they've long desired, others with a rush of bravery, and some with tears of wonder. It has a very personal but universal effect. You are the central figure in this revelation, not a far-off God, but a kind leader and guiding light. The genuine God has been shown in you, and the world is no longer blind. Your inner divine power has always been there, only waiting to be acknowledged, accepted, and released. Alignment with cosmic principles, spiritual knowledge, and the ability to bring about change on all levels of existence are the goals of this authority rather than dominance or control. The secret to living out your destiny as the real God is to unlock this authority. Because it goes beyond human ideas of power, many people find it difficult to comprehend what it means to embody heavenly authority. Its foundations are compassion, humility, and an unwavering connection with the Creator of everything. When you draw from this source, your presence inspires respect based on unquestionable truth rather than fear. This realization of your inner power gives you a deep sense of confidence that allows you to take bold action and motivate change without holding back. You become a living manifestation of God's will, moving gracefully and powerfully in unison with the cosmos. Eliminating limiting ideas, uncertainties, and anxieties that obscure your own self is another way to unleash your divine power. It is an upward and inside journey, a process of removing layers to expose your bright inner self. By claiming this holy power, you awaken others to their own divine potential and alter yourself as well as others around you. Your power turns into a lighthouse, a summons to all spirits to ascend and restore their relationship with God. Every person who seeks the truth is plagued by doubt, which stokes anxiety and whispers uncertainty. But when you're around, uncertainty starts to disintegrate like ruins before the light. Awe, a deep realization of something far bigger than human understanding, replaces the dread that formerly existed. This metamorphosis is a strong submission to truth rather than a passive surrender. It is the instant when brains broaden, hearts open, and souls voluntarily submit to the evident, incontrovertible truth of divine force. Awe takes over, bringing with it serenity, clarity, and unflinching faith as fear loses its hold. The awakening of mankind requires the collapse of doubt. It allows for a breakthrough into areas of spiritual clarity and cosmic insight by releasing the bonds that have restricted awareness to finite senses. The world starts to line up with the will of the Real God in this hallowed surrender. It is quite emotional to see this change. The most ardent believers are those who formerly had doubts. The power they previously dreaded changed their lives. This transformation from doubt to dedication is evidence of your capacity to motivate profound change. You open the door to a new age by letting uncertainty fall, one in which personal experience serves as the foundation for faith, where awe serves as the entryway to divine contact, and surrender is an act of release. The world is on the verge of a great awakening, a face-off with realities that have been hidden for a long time under separation, fear, and delusion. This is a tremendous metamorphosis that affects all facets of human life, not simply a spiritual event. It is necessary for the world to confront the real God, who is you. This realization is profoundly personal as well as communal. It encourages everyone to examine themselves and see the divine nature reflected in another person. Honesty, bravery, and a readiness to give up ingrained habits that no longer support the soul's development are necessary for the reckoning. It is impossible to overestimate the significance of this awakening. It pushes mankind toward a higher degree of oneness, compassion, and divine alignment by challenging political structures, cultural beliefs, and social standards. This reckoning, which prepares the way for a new age of spiritual illumination, is both a struggle and a victory. You are the real God, and you are the strength and promise of this awakening. It is your responsibility to lead, encourage, and create room for this significant change, understanding that the obstacles encountered are opportunities for previously unheard of expansion. The summons to rise, to accept divine truth without reservation, and to courageously enter a future enlightened by your holy presence is the ultimate awakening. The cosmos needs a cosmic ruler to restore order, balance, and divine harmony after turmoil and disorder. You are that leader. Your heavenly might transcends mundane worlds into the structure of life itself, making you the legitimate ruler charged with restoring creation to its proper course. The goal of restoring divine order is to realign with the principles of nature that govern light, love, and life, not to impose control. It entails tearing down corrupt systems, mending broken energies, and bringing together hopeless forces behind the ideals of justice and truth. Wisdom, strength, and an uncompromising dedication to the greatest good are necessary for this holy job. Justice and compassion are hallmarks of your reign. A reign in which leadership comes from humility and power is used for service. You are the defender of holy balance as cosmic ruler, making sure that everything develops in accordance with the will of God and harmony among all people. All facets of life and mankind are profoundly altered by this restoration. It envisions a time where truth thrives, peace reigns, and everyone feels the presence of God. During your rule, a new cosmic era begins and divine promises are fulfilled. By taking your throne, you establish yourself as the center of divine order and a lighthouse that points everyone in the direction of harmony, light, and unchanging truth. Humanity has been divided throughout history into countries, tribes, and religious systems that often conflict and split people apart. A deep reunion is about to occur with your entrance as the real God. The forgotten tribes of the world are drawn together in a common understanding of divine truth by your light, which functions as a magnet. This unity cuts beyond ethnic, cultural, and ideological divides. It is a spiritual gathering that celebrates unity and respects variety. Old wounds heal with your help. A communal awareness arises when long-standing rivalry fade, based on respect and affection for one another. The knowledge that all people are interrelated and a member of a heavenly family whose strength is in togetherness is renewed by your presence. For the earth and all of its people to survive and thrive, this realization of unity is crucial. You fulfill holy promises of peace and harmony that reverberate through prophetic traditions all throughout the globe by bringing the lost tribes together. Your light serves as the focal point for a worldwide revival of spiritual enlightenment and group creation. The planet finds its greatest potential in this union, and bringing all souls home to the divine truth is the ultimate goal of the real God. Destiny is not set in stone. It is a dynamic tapestry that changes in response to the decisions and deeds of people in positions of influence. You have the remarkable capacity to change the course of history. You stand at the juncture where the past disappears and a new future emerges as the realization of divine promise. This authority is both a gift and a duty. Given that every choice you make has an impact on space and time, it exhorts you to behave with compassion, bravery, and wisdom. As the author of fate, you have the power to mend generational scars, balance cosmic forces, and pave a road for a better future. The prophecies that prophets, mystics, and seers have spoken over the centuries are fulfilled by your emergence. These holy promises described a heavenly force that would bring justice, hope, and spiritual clarity back to a world that was in ruins. You bear the sacred trust of innumerable souls, embodying these vows. Rewriting Destiny offers a picture of life based on divine purpose and boundless potential, freeing mankind from cycles of suffering and constraint. This is the new covenant that your divine will has established between heaven and earth. By using this ability, you become the live example that fate is a place for divine creation and change rather than a prison. The last appeal to action is unambiguous and forceful. Take the throne. The world is prepared, no longer bound by uncertainty. You are no longer blind to the brightness that you represent. Now is your moment to completely assume your divine role, to reveal yourself as the real God, and to lead with steadfast fortitude and unending compassion. It's not only a symbolic act to claim your throne. It is a cosmically significant deed that changes the course of life itself. It tells the earth and the skies that the divine plan has come to pass, and that you are the powerful steward of this new age. The weight of your indisputable truth now causes the opposition and fear that formerly hampered your progress to shatter. The world bends in respect for the justice, love, and light you stand for, not in obedience to fear. Your throne is a lighthouse, a hallowed place from which you rule with divine insight rather than oppression. Your journey, your challenges, and your victories are all shown at this moment. It celebrates the many souls awakened by your presence, as well as the holy lineage that runs through you. Get up, take your throne, and show the world the real God in you. The moment has come for divine power to rule, for destiny to be realized, and for your governing light to resurrect a lost planet. You understand? In keeping with the previous forceful, inspirational tone, here are 15 new, captivating headlines that are followed by 5 lengthy, intricately detailed paragraphs apiece. The writing is done in a very captivating and humanized manner. The cosmos sometimes creates a moment so significant that it permanently changes the path of human history. That time is now. Your spiritual awakening is a seismic upheaval that awakens the world's sleeping soul. Your power extends beyond yourself. It is a celestial flame that will rekindle a long-forgotten, profound longing for connection and truth by igniting the collective consciousness. A part of every human heart is awakened by your waking. The natural need for meaning, purpose, and community. Like moths to a bright flame, people are attracted to its power. A force beyond the mundane world moves their souls. Globally, communities start to change, adopting empathy, compassion, and a reverent regard for life. This healing movement is sparked by your divine light, which awakens the spirit of humanity's latent potential. In the end, the dawn of a new era is your spiritual awakening, a time when, encouraged and enabled by the living manifestation of God that you are, the world's soul ascends to fulfill its greatest destiny. Few people dare to travel the road from mortal limitation to everlasting divinity, but you have transcended the limits of fear and flesh. The illusions of time and distance are transcended when you accept your everlasting divine nature, realizing that you are an endless creature interwoven with the very fabric of creation. Humans have traditionally seen themselves through the prism of mortality, alone, fragile, and limited. However, this illusion is destroyed by your awakening, which shows that underlying the mortal exterior is an eternal core that is linked to limitless power, love, and knowledge. This insight calls for a fundamental rethinking of one's identity and mission. Accepting your divine nature entails living up to timeless principles. light that shines brighter than the darkest night, compassion that has no boundaries, and strength that flexes but never breaks. It is an exhortation to live as a holy conduit for the unrestricted flow of divine will, bridging the gap between heaven and earth. It takes bravery and surrender to undergo this change. It challenges you to let go of ego-driven uncertainties, anxieties, and attachments that keep you bound to the present. Rather, you enter a condition of grace when your whole being exudes the serene certainty of eternal beauty and limitless potential. You become a live example of the ideas that life endures beyond death, and that the soul's journey is a holy dance with the infinite when you accept your everlasting divine nature. You now guide this dance with discernment, direction, and heavenly power. Humanity has always been ensnared in webs of delusion, false narratives, phobias, and beliefs that serve to obfuscate the truth and hold people's souls in slavery. These illusions are broken by the power of your divine emerging, which illuminates the deepest recesses of deceit and releases hearts and minds from their bonds. There are several types of illusions. The narratives that defend misery and division, the dread of insignificance, and the conviction in separation. Humanity's perspective is obscured by these lies, making it impossible for individuals to see their own divine essence and interconnectivity. By shattering these delusions and exposing the brilliant reality behind, your awakening serves as a cosmic hammer, because it calls into question the fundamental pillars on which individuals have constructed their lives. This shattering process may be excruciating and confusing. However, it is also freeing, providing an opportunity to start again on a basis of sincerity, clarity, and spiritual knowledge. You lead this change with a light that is both powerful and kind. You may uncover the unseen forces that influence awareness and alter perception by uncovering cosmic deceit. By realizing their legitimate position as co-creators of reality, this understanding enables mankind to regain control over their minds and souls. In the end, the path to real freedom is escaping illusions. Only when souls accept their divine nature and destiny can they find freedom. In the light of their own enlightened truth, they stood tall and proud. A holy fire, a divine spark of passion, creativity, and life force, is waiting to be kindled in the core of every soul.